What's up, everybody? We're back here on Bear Rock Seasons today, and I think I got the right plow this time, so what do you think? Check this out. Yep, okay, so it's actually pushing the snow. We'll see if it crashes my game, I don't know. I was doing some testing with a different version of this plow, and it crashed my game, so we'll see how this goes. But I was also reading where I believe it was the Snowy Lands Geo, which, by the way, I am running that mod. We'll see if it, continues to work pretty good on this map. I was reading where some people were having problems on different maps, with the Snowy Lands Geo added in there, and it was crashing their game. But we'll see what happens. So far, it's been running pretty good on this Bear Rock Logging Seasons map. I'm just going to quickly drive back up there to the yarder site, and we'll see if this plow is actually going to work on that site, because I couldn't get it to work last time. But I'm not sure if I just didn't drive far enough, because we own the land, but there's another little piece of land over there that we don't own. So I wondered if maybe I had just accidentally kind of got over there. So let's just drive back up there real quick. It's a messy day here on Bear Rock Logging. I'll tell you, we got snow coming down, we got rain, probably sleet, all kinds of stuff. It's a mess. Yeah, this snow plow right here, I actually got it off of the Woodmeadow Farms website, so it is official. So this one should be working probably as best as it's going to work, unless something's wrong with it, which they'll fix, I'm sure. But say what you want about Woodmeadow Farms, but when it comes to the snow plow stuff, I think they got it figured out pretty good. I used this snowplow equipment a little bit over on 17, and it worked pretty good. Looks like they've got it working good now on 19. But anyway, hey, here's what I'm wondering about. I'm clearing off all this snow. Now, since it's still snowing and got the Geolands and all, or Snowy Lands Geo added in here, is it gonna is snow going to fall back on the road again now that I've plowed it? Anybody know? I don't know. I never tested that over on 17. I never really got that far with it. Just curious if the snow is going to fall back on the road or not. Well, as you can see, we're now just 11 away from our goal of 1,000 subscribers. So if you're watching and you haven't hit the subscribe button yet, please do, so we can get to 1,000. I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribers so I can start doing random prize giveaways from the ad revenue and stuff. And I'll probably, well, of course it's going to depend on how much money comes in, but I'm probably going to end up using some of that money, not a lot of it, but some of it, because I do want to get a new gaming computer here pretty soon. And I've actually already started putting together some, price lists, and got a couple of parts in already for it. But sure would help me out if I had a little extra income to help build the gaming PC. It's going to be a nice PC too. I'm doing a Ryzen, probably a Ryzen 7 chip. And I'm probably going to have a terabyte SSD drive in there, and probably going to go with a I don't know if I'll be able to do the highest level of graphics card, but I'm probably going to have something pretty nice in there, a lot better than my 1050 Ti I've got in my computer now. In fact, I think what I've got in there in my parts list right now is I think it's a 1660. NVIDIA card. I don't know. A guy at work that does IT was telling me that the AMD graphics cards are pretty good now these days, but I just don't know how they compare with the NVIDIA's. The snow is getting high. Wow, this thing will really push some snow. You can see it's actually rolling up off of the blade too. It's pretty cool. Yeah, I'm glad this snow plow is working out pretty good, because like I said, I had one that looked just like this that somebody put out that wasn't official Wood Meadow Farms, and I could play with it just for a little bit, but then the game would crash. So as soon as I removed it, everything seemed to be fine, so I knew it was the snow plow. And then somebody put the one that I was using in the last video, which just kind of deletes the snow, which I really don't care, but I guess it is kind of a cool effect to see it do like it's supposed to, and you know, shove over on the side. But I don't know, it doesn't matter to me. Well, other big news today I saw on Facebook on, let's see, I think it was Farming Simulator 17 and 19 support group, where somebody posted a picture of the global, let's see, what is it called? Global, I forget now. Anyway, it's manufactured, or what it made by French. I think it's a French company, maybe it's German, I don't know. Anyway, it's an add-on for Farming Simulator 19 that it does a lot of stuff. I mean, you'll have to just kind of go search for it, and then you have to do some translations, you know, to figure out what they're talking about. But in there is the production mod, which means eventually, or here pretty soon, I hope, we're going to have, you know, like the lumber production, where you put in logs on one end and wood chips, and then you get pallets of lumber out the other side. You know, that's what I'm talking about. It's going to be pretty cool. I've been looking forward to that for a long time. Now, what am I hung up on? Oh gosh. Well, I'm hung up on something. Let's see if I can get walk this processor over there. Maybe I can grab the back end of the dump truck and pull it out of there. I think that plow frame is caught on the edge of the terrain over there. And I didn't even have my joysticks up here. I was really just kind of wanting to test out the plow, and then it seemed to be working, so I just went ahead on with the video. Oops. Alright, maybe that'll get it. Alright. Yep, I just won't drive that close to the edge next time. But yeah, I really would like to clear off this landing some because I don't want the logs and stuff falling into the snow, then I won't know where in the world they're at. Okay, so I guess I'm going to have to raise and lower the blade every time. It seems to be getting hung on something over there. Alright, well we're not going to mess with clearing off this whole landing. I just wanted to kind of test out this blade, make sure it was working okay, and I'm going to get a little bit of it cleared off so we can actually do something. But I'm not going to worry too much about getting it all cleared off. I wonder how that snow has gotten into the back right there. I wonder if it's collecting. Surely it's not collecting as it falls, huh? Alright, what's wrong with you, truck? I got the blade raised up. Okay, now let's see. I do want to clear off a spot right over here. Where all the equipment's going to be, or at least the processor and where the deck's going to be for the trees. Won't mess with those trees right there, but I do want to get this other spot cleared off. I like that effect whenever it goes over the edge of the mountain there, the old snow. That's a cool effect. Alright, so let's get just a little bit more area here cleared off, and then we'll get busy with processing. Or, well, let's just get some more trees. We don't have any. Well, I think we did it again. Oh, no, it's trying. There we go. There we go. Okay, come on, you can do it. Not going to go quite so far this time. Just get it close to the edge, and then that'll be good. Alright, just a little bit more here, and then we should be good. What I don't want to happen is make this huge pile of snow where the truck can't get over. So we're going to clear off the rest of this, I think. Yeah, somebody commented that you know, you can't see the trees across the map, and you have to kind of get close to them to see the trees. Well, the reason I did that was so that the game runs a little better, a little smoother, a little faster. If you got a whole ton of trees on a map and you got the clip distance set too high, the draw distance, like, you know, you can see the trees across the map, then it really affects the performance of the game. So that's why if you're looking at the map, and you have to get pretty, well, not so pretty, you have to get fairly close to the trees to see them. You know, they'll appear. That's why, just for performance of the game, of the map. Oh, did not mean to go that far. Come on, truck. It's trying. I got the blade raised up. There it goes. Okay, so now we should have enough room for our trucks to get up here, get turned around, and we'll have to get our loader up here. And I'm gonna do something different with where I'm putting those logs at for pickup. Something different. All right. Now let's get our loader up there. You see how high those snowbanks are. It's causing our truck some problems. But this truck's pretty powerful, so it shouldn't have any problem getting over those things. But I'll just have to be careful in the future to not let them get piled up like that. Not used to working with snow. We don't have any snow here in Louisiana. Alright, now we should be good. Yeah, I'm not sure what's up with the Snowy Lands Geo. Some people are reporting that if they had that mod enabled on their map that it was causing the game to crash. So I don't know what's going on with that. I haven't had any problems. Like I said, I had that one snowplow that was like a early release model of the Wood Meadow Farms one that I just used a minute ago. It was not official from Wood Meadow Farms though, and I think that's what was causing my game to crash. I don't think it was the Snowy Lands Geo, although I did have that enabled. But if it was just the Snowy Lands Geo, then it probably should have already crashed this game by now, unless everybody's running some sort of another mod that I don't have activated, because sometimes mods will conflict with each other if they're running the same script or something, and cause issues. But so far I'm doing pretty good with the Snowy Lands Geo. And all the Snowy Lands Geo does is it just makes the snow be on the ground 24/7. I mean, it's give a year-round snow, which is kind of what I wanted for this map anyway. I just wanted to do some logging in the snow just for kind of fun. I guess I shouldn't have cleared off all the snow on the roads. It'd be more of a challenge, I think, to drive in the deep snow. Oh well. Maybe next time when we set up somewhere, I won't clear off the snow. Yeah, so this truck has no problems getting up this mountain. Also, these are not the new FDR mods that he just put out like a couple days ago. I need to go get those, test them out. These have been working pretty good for me, so I don't really worry too much about, you know, updating them unless there's something major that gets fixed. I just usually don't. If they're working, I usually just stick with them, unless you know, he does something major to them that really fixes something or makes it a ton a lot better. Then I'll update them, but I'm not even sure what version those things are or what version he's on right now. I'm sure it's like version 4 or 5 he's on by now, and those are probably 3. Okay, well, I'm trying to think if where would be a good spot to park this thing. Our plow truck over there had already taken up the other spot. I think right down here somewhere is a little pull off. I could probably park this thing. Well, I guess not. There's kind of a little spot right there. I guess. Well, yeah, I guess we can pull it off right here. Okay, we're gonna park this thing right there. And let's switch back to, let's get this truck. This is our log truck. Very powerful, very off-road, very capable for the snow, I'm sure. So, let's get this thing hooked up. Yep, this thing should have no problems whatsoever going over any kind of terrain. So very quickly, let's get this up there and get it in place, because what I want to do is I want to kind of get everything set to where I think it's going to work out better for us. You know, be a better idea when we get this log truck in place. We can know how much room we got to do stuff if I don't destroy it before getting up there. That'd be really bad if Farming Simulator had damage. I know the repair stuff or whatever, but like if you ran into a boulder back there, good thing it doesn't cause damage. Although that would be kind of interesting, though. You know, if they built damage into it, because I mean, if you hit something with a grapple of the loader, you know, it's going to put a dent or strip off the paint or something, at least. I don't know. Maybe in Farming Simulator 25. Which is another thing I really don't like too much about Farming Simulator, is they put out a new version of the game every 2 years. The modders barely have time to get mods out by the time the next version of the game rolls out. So I wish they'd do it like every 3 or 4 years. But, you know, I understand the logic behind it. They gotta keep the game relevant by putting out new versions. Plus, everybody's gonna buy the new version, or most everybody is anyway. So that's just money in their pockets to keep going. But I don't know, I wish they would do it differently, because the modders have so much of an influence on the game that my thinking is that Giants should, at least if nothing else, release the documentation and you know, Giants editor, all that stuff to the modders that want it. well before the game comes out, like say 6 months prior to. Okay, so let's say, see, this is 20. This is Farming Simulator 19. So at the end of 2020, they're going to be talking about, and well, not talking about it. It'll be coming out, Farming Simulator 21. So I wish that like sometime in probably about the first part of 2020, I wish they would release all the documentation and Giants editor and all that stuff. I mean, it would help them in a way too, because let's say, well, for instance, with Giants editor for Farming Simulator 19, there's been three versions of it because they had to keep doing updates to fix it. And if they would release it early to the modders, then we could catch those things and help them before the game's actually released, or at least to some of the modders, maybe not all of them. I don't know. That's just my thoughts. But because there was Giants Editor 8.0, then there was 8.1 beta, and then there was 8.1 final release. But I don't know. It's just frustrating because as myself as a modder, I had to completely relearn most of what I knew from Farming Simulator 17 and modding for that, to then make maps in 19. Some parts of it was completely different. It wasn't really necessarily hard to figure out. It's just frustrating because it wasn't the same as it was in 17. I guess I better concentrate on driving up this mountain. Switch to this view. But yeah, I really wish that they would do something different. It would help them and help us, and help the end user, or the game player too, the folks that don't mod, because at the start of the game there would be mods out already. The modders would have a jump on the game, so it wouldn't take several months to start getting mods out. It would already be there. I don't know, it's just like Giants don't even care about the modders. It's like, we got our money, we got the game, we don't care about you modders, Okay, so I may eventually have to plow out some more of this snow. Let's see if I can get. Well, let's see. I'm not gonna be able to do this though, because I'm gonna have to have the logs kind of right over here on the other side of this loader. And that sucker is heavy. So I think what I may end up having to do is to actually drive in, pull in where the snowplow is, right over here, right there, and then I'll have to back in. That's gonna be tricky, but that's about the only thing I can think of, because it's pretty tight up here. I should have made this landing just a little bit bigger, but that's all right. Or what I could do, I suppose, is maybe pull in. Let's see, I can probably pull in this way maybe, you know, angle it in like this. Of course, the trailer will be facing the opposite way. I might be able to back in from just pulling in there, though. We'll have to see. But what I want to do is to try to put the truck and trailer right about there. And then when I yard the trees up, I'll put them maybe a little bit more towards where the processor is. And I'll have the processor back a little further. Maybe, you know, somewhere along here. And then the logs will actually, instead of being right there where they're at, will be closer to where the loader is, kind of right in this area here. I don't know what to. Let's just try it, see what happens. Well, I guess I better start this thing and get the winch turned on. And before I forget, now we can't use any other machines that have winches on them because of the yarder. The yarder, the length of the cable is so long that, I mean, maybe if we had something on the complete opposite side of the map. But what I'm planning on doing is we're just going to yard here for a little while. I just want to kind of test it out and show you guys how this thing works. But once we finish with this site, what I'm going to do is I actually have a really cool cable skidder now. I've been testing it out. Let's see if yeah, there it is. Okay, this is the John Deere 540 G3 cable skidder. It's got the little grapples on the front of the thing, which I don't really care for, but anyway, they're on there. This thing works pretty good. It won't pull, you know, nearly as much as FDR's that dozer skidder thing, but this is a really good mod, and I forget where I got this from. Forget where I found it. It was on Facebook. I want to say it was maybe that Farming Simulator 17 and 19 support group page, but I'm not for certain. I'll have to look it up and see. But I've been testing it out. It's a pretty cool machine. Okay, so we're hooked up. All right, let's go ahead and winch this thing up. Okay, so what I want to try to do, swing it over this way. A little bit closer to where the processor's at. And see, I don't like I can't even get it up far enough. There it goes. See you later, tree. Let's see. If I move this back a little bit, maybe that'll give us just enough extra room there to pull it up. Let's see. Let's test that out. Man, where did this thing go? There it is. So the boom of this thing sticks out far enough to where it's not a problem to you know, pull the trees up and stuff. It's just a matter of when I get it this far, okay, that worked out better, because then it'll actually sit on the ground, and then I'll just have to hop out and run over here and grab the processor. And we'll have to grab this thing before it goes back down the hill. And see, what I want to do is I want to put the logs actually further back out this way. throw the scraps back that way. And then we can have the loader, which will actually be sitting a little bit more like this. Yeah, something like that. And then we can grab the tree, the logs that are processed, throw them on the truck, which will be right there. So I think that's going to work out pretty good. And then we can either, you know, well, most likely we'll have to pull the truck up a little bit, because I don't think we'll be able to. Well, we might be able to just walk the processor back a little bit and process the trees into a nice, neat row of, you know, nice pile. So let's get a few more trees cut up. Just terrible conditions for logging. I tell you, today is just rough. Snow and freezing rain, I tell you what. The crew is griping today. Now I don't know if we're going to be able to get both of these and make them land on the landing just right, but let's find out. Yeah, they were a pretty good ways down there. I still ain't seen them yet. Okay, so that's what I was afraid of, that because the one tree there was so far away from the other. I don't think it's going to want to land on up here on the landing just right. See, it's going to slide off the hill. Oh well, we'll just have to let it go. Yeah, there it goes. Okay, see you later, tree. So it looks like we're going to have to do either one tree at a time, or if the trees are really close together to each other, then we can maybe do 2 or 3 at a time. But looks like if they're any distance apart, that's not going to work. Now I did see where somebody, let's see, I think it was Expendables Modding. Anthony Rourke, I believe, over there on Expendables Modding, was working on a true yarder, you know, with the car system and all that. But I don't know, you know, when that's going to be released to the public, if all. I really hate it when modders, you know, mod something that everybody really wants and flaunts it off on their Facebook page and then doesn't release it to anybody. So that's kind of a pet peeve of mine, because in my opinion, I mean, just don't even show it, because you got everybody now that's going to be, you know, sending you requests for it and all this and that. And just if it's private, just keep it private. Don't flaunt it off on Facebook and, oh, look what I got. That's why I quit using the Rebel Logging, that wheel buncher, because it hasn't been released publicly yet, so I don't want to use it for, you know, I mean, it's a nice mod. I'd love to be able to use it, but I'm not going to show it in any of my videos. Jeez, these trees, when they take off down that hill, there's no stopping them. Okay, these two trees right here are fairly close together. That one and this one. So let's see what happens. Because it would be nice to pull up more than one tree at a time. Oh, and those things were down there too. This yarder's usually pretty quick, but you can see how far down there they were. There they are finally. That worked out. So just got to make sure that the trees are real close to each other whenever you go to try to get more than one. And then you got to hope that whenever you're up here processing them, that you don't accidentally send one down the mountain. Yeah, I think this is going to work out pretty good. The only issue is I'm just going to have to watch and you know, not let the trees be too far apart when I'm trying to skid them up, and make sure that they don't slide back down the mountain. And I probably can't accumulate too many trees up here at one time before processing them. So I think I'll be afraid that if I bump one the wrong way, it'll be right back down the mountain again. But yeah, it's gonna work out pretty good, I think. Okay, so let's see. I'll tell you what, let's, before I get too far along with this, what I want to do is let's test out this truck. I want to see how I'm going to back this thing in here. So I think I got two options, and option number one is to pull in here. Well, I guess there is snow accumulating in there. Well, that's pretty cool. Didn't know it would do that. So I would actually pull in like this, and my back end of my trailer, of course, will probably be angled a little bit differently, but I can back in, maybe, or at least get turned around. That's probably more likely, is just get turned around. And then back it in like this. Boy, that's gonna be tough. That's going to be really tough to get that backed in there like that. Okay, so let me try option number 2. So I don't really see myself doing that. So I got to get turned around again. So let me get pulled in here. Okay, so option number 2 is to pull in here forward. And then what I think I'm going to have to do is really try to swing this thing around. Yeah, I think that's what I'm going to have to do right there. At least get it, you know, pretty well turned around at that point, and then I can back up. Like so. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. So I'll get the plow truck over here. I'll get all this snow plowed off the landing, and that should do it. Yep, that's going to do it. Alright, so I'm going to get the plow truck over here, get all this snow pushed off I'll move the yarder and get these trees picked up and chipped up or whatever. Get all that cleared off, and then we'll be good to go. All the stuff turned off. Alright. Yeah, so we're probably not going to be here too long. I'm just going to get a few more trees cut. Probably get a pretty good little area here cut. Get them yarded up and then processed, and probably get we'll probably only do like maybe 1 or 2 loads off of this landing. I just wanted to kind of test it out and see how it worked. And then we'll move somewhere else. Most likely, we'll go somewhere we haven't been before. So there's a ton of area up in the top right of the map we haven't been, and then the bottom left we haven't been anywhere in there. So what I might do is come across from the sawmill across the river, and then go past that first road to the landing, go past the second road which goes up to the radio tower, and then that third road to the left where there's that little green pasture area. We'll probably go back in there somewhere and try to get set up and do some work, because we haven't looked at that part of the map yet. But yeah, it's pretty cool. Alright, so I hope you enjoyed the video. I'm going to go ahead and sign off here, and y'all have a good weekend. We'll see you again on Monday. Thanks for watching.